Alright, safety equipment you're going to need is a cotton shirt so you don't get arc burn and burnt on your skin. The welding cap also does that to keep it from burning your scalp in out of position welds with the ear flap, and kind of protects it from rolling in. Gloves will keep you from electrical shock and burning your hands, and the welding hood, of course, is to protect your eyes so you can see what you're doing when you're welding. It also protects your face from burns and sparks. This is a buffer wheel. You can clean your welds really quick with them, and the angle grinder grinds down welds if you have a bad spot. The chipping hammer and wire brush is really popular. Though chipping hammer, you just chip your slag off and then brush it real quick with your wire brush if you need to make another pass on it.
That's about it.
Striking your arc, you're going to tap it or scratch. I like tapping instead of scratching, but right here, this is an electrode. This is 7018 what I'm running. It has flux around it, which protects the weld while it's molten so it doesn't oxidize, and the fumes you see coming up is it burning. As you weld, you're going to have to feed the rod. The welding hood really helps when you're welding so that you can see what you're doing. Obviously, you don't know what I'm doing. You can see how my hands getting closer and closer. You want to keep your helmet really close to the weld so you can see what you're doing. I'm pretty protected from the arc. You can't really see the light getting on me. And burns aren't too bad. It's pretty hot. This is what it looks like under a welding hood. You can kind of see my welding rod. But the hood we're using, we actually have the camera behind a hood. It doesn't really give it credit. It's a lot more clear in person. The 7018, it's a pretty strong welding rod, and it's got a 70,000 psi tensile strength. That's the breaking point. The motion you're going to use is just kind of a drag, maybe a little whip it back and forth just real subtly. Once again, it's really hot. This is 6010. It's a different kind of rod, and you can see all the sparks that are flying, which are really hot. That's not even all the sparks, but this is what will burn you while you're welding. I actually get a lot of scars from it. The motion that we're using is we're whipping it up and down to have that metal flow from the top to the bottom. You get a good penetration and flow with nice fusion with the two pieces of metal. This is 1/8 inch 6010. Cleaning your welds. This is using a chipping hammer and a wire brush. What you're going to do is that metal is really hot, so what I did is you just chip it, you hit it with the hammer, scratch the edge, it'll come off, and that's slag. That's what's protecting it. That flux creates the slag, and then you'll wire brush over it to clean off the smoke and the extra stuff, keep it from contamination. This is me using a buffer wheel. This is not safe at all. I do not recommend using your buffers like this. Normally it'd be a joint on a structure, maybe a building, or on a piece of pipe, on a pipeline. In between welds, I was cleaning them and cooling them off because it get really hot. Because when you're welding, it's about 10,000 degrees right there at the puddle. So here's me once again buffing it off. I'm just trying to shine up the weld a little bit to show everybody, but it keeps everything clean, and you always want to clean them on a pipeline or something so that your inspectors can come in and get a good look at a visual inspection. They can x-ray them, they can bend them, but bending is a destructive test. That's normally for certifications. I just hit myself with the buffer, and you can see where it knocked off the part of my glove. You've got to be really careful with it.